Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog, coming from Dallas, Texas, a little closer to Richardson or something to respect. I have messy Friday news because I thought it was Saturday because I'm on a 9 to 5 schedule. Um, I create opportunities for myself. But anyway, today's topic. Oh, I know, I'm that person. Gen X. We gotta blame Gen X for everything. I know we always want to blame Boomers, but Gen X are just as bad. Gen Xers are usually 41 or 42 to 54, I think, if I'm mistaken. And y'all be cutting up. Majority of all this back and forth women and men content online is Gen X. A bunch of this I am woman, hear me roar is Gen X. A bunch of this like, you can do it, girl. You can work 97 hours a week and raise a family and kids and be married is Gen X. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get my master's degree is Gen X. Girl, you can do it at 62. Why not? Shake your fanny. Gen X. Well, that's boomers, but let's just go. You get my drift, right? I'm not a hater, right? I'm not a hater. But Gen X, y'all be doing the most here on this internet. Y'all be at all the cookouts, dressing like somebody papa, cutting up still. Y'all be having the Essence Festival is nothing but the Gen X festival. You know what I mean? Freaknik was boomer / Gen X. Now it's y'all, right? Okay. Now let me just put it, thank you, Ray Gunn, already supporting already, right? Now let's just get it out there. Jenny Ma is Gen X too. She's 44 years old. 44 years old. Okay? Ain't nobody Gen X saying Fanny. Yeah, they are, because they trying to be cool. That's why. All these black men that's in their 40s and 50s and rap out here dressing goofy. Gen X. It's exhausting. Okay. Now let me just first of all, we have to do an honorable mention. Oh, we have to do an honorable mention with tears. Hugh Jackman and his wife have decided to divorce. Now, for years it was the poster, like they was on Hugh Jackman. Like, man, you married a woman 13 years older than you. One of your children, you had her when she was 44, the next at 49. They was forever going on Hugh Jackman, okay? And unfortunately, Hugh Jackman is 54. We just talked about Shannon Sharp being 55. Hugh Jackman is 54 and his wife is 67. He stuck with her for 27 years, stuck beside her, made all that money. 27 years. 27 years is a long time, and I think it should be congratulated just on that. But again, let's keep in mind the ages of their kids are 18 and 23. This is a very common age people divorce. When them kids get out of the house and they ain't got to be there with you no more, they're like, got to go, baby. Got to go, okay? And I would just think, and this is why we always talk about when people say, oh, it's nothing wrong if a man marries a woman 13, 14, 15, 20 years younger than him. No. When the woman's 36 and he's 52, okay, they got little kids. Now, when that woman's 40 something and he's 60 something, she might be out in them streets. Okay. But anyway, long the story short, again, Kevin Costner, honorable mention, mad at the girl. And again, it's like, I'm not, that's a part of the game. Sir, you're 68 years old. Your wife is 49. She still thinks she got something. I don't know what she got, but that's a respectable, though. I'm going to give that a respectable. Now, I gave honorable mention because, Wolverine, the heart. Okay, so now the name of the show is Hail Mary Pass. Now, why do I call it Hail Mary Pass? There's a mindset in America and in general that, I still got time, man. I can still make the league, man. We have the highest number of people turning 40 going into the military, getting waivers. This has been consistent for the last 6 years. So a lot of that's Gen X, some of that's now millennials. Because people have that mindset that I can do a Hail Mary. I can go back. I can reclaim it all. I can do a 180 on my life at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? I can try. And I want y'all to understand, this is the problem with that. Everything good, like I just told you a minute ago, is uphill. Now, when you get about 45, you are quite set in your ways. Now, if you listen to these internet Negroes every day, women is running around divorcing their husbands. But this man is divorcing his wife. Oh, she must have did something better because she must have did something. Listen to me, y'all. 9 times out of 10, it is lifestyle and class. Now, I'm not saying that she's high class and he's low class, because all these men think, well, if they got money, they high class. No, they're not. You got high money people every day of the week. Knickknacks, just stupid, running around, doing goofy stuff. Ariana Grande was somewhere cussing somebody out. Several wealthy people that just are what we call the new rich. They don't have the connections. They don't have the accoutrements, whatever you want to call it, accoutrements. On top of that, JEEZY just learned how to play a part. Baby, they only been together 2 years and they ain't grew apart. Cut it out. They've been together a little bit more than 2 years. But this is something I want to address several factors of what I think is happening here. They are different classes. And this man has built a lifestyle of just running the streets. Now, what do I mean running the streets? I don't mean fighting. I don't mean gunplay. I don't mean this. I mean, I do what I want when I want. I have a friend who is a 52-year-old bachelor. And he realizes if he gets married at this point, he has to bend his schedule to somebody else. He don't want to do that. He's told us all in our friend group, like, well, if the girl gonna come and do this like I want, then that's fine. And we're like, dude, that's not real life. She gonna have her own life. She gonna do her own activities. You can't just throw somebody in your life like a movie script. You dig what I'm saying? Thank you, Ray Gun. He get me before I get there. Cultural and social economics matter. This is why the longest marriages are usually people that look just like us, right? In every movie, in every TV, everything you think, every time you think, oh yeah, it's gonna be opposites attract. People from 2 different walks of life. Great. No, every relationship I've ever had that was the most headache was me trying to bring somebody to middle class thinking, church, way of living, golf, tennis, the way we dress, the way we eat, the way we talk. Every struggle has been that. Okay? You dig what I'm saying? I remember this boy's mama told me, I don't know what you see in my son. Now, she didn't say they were poor, but she said everything but the word, why would you even be over here? I remember my brother tried to hang out with gang members, and they were like, boy, your mama, you live across town on a lake with a 2-story house, and your mama got 3 cars. What you trying to do over here? What you trying to hang out with gang members for? That's crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? That my sister trying to act real hood, get it out of the mud. They'd be like, baby, you live in this side of town in a semi-gated neighborhood on a lake. Girl, get out of here with that. She used to call herself a whole different name. They'd be like, I know your sister. Your name is that's not your name. Your name is Dominique. Used to drive her crazy. I'm in all AP classes. She in high school cutting up. Teacher like, you look familiar. I'd be like, that's my sister in your class. She's like, no. How? And so class matters. Where you're born matters. How you conduct yourself matters. There are things called learned behaviors and learned lifestyle. You dig what I'm saying? So let's just keep it a buck. Jenny Mai married who she wanted to marry the first time around, a white man. A white man. Let's keep it a buck. She married who she wanted to marry the first time, a white man. He cut up and took some of her money, okay? But she married who she wanted to marry the first time. Now, the second time around, if you listen to her speak, because she said black men was for part-time, they was for play. If you listen to her speak, and I've actually seen, like, if you look at JEEZY, how he's trying to go to her family and prove he's great people to her family, that comes from when you believe somebody's out of your class range. I know a guy right now married a girl 11 years younger. He would, when they went out with dinner with her family, he'd pay for the dinners. He'd do all this stuff. Years later, once he married her, he was like, her family's kind of poor. My family's doing better than her family. Yeah, because you saw her as a white girl, you just automatically assumed they had to be doing well. They ain't. And he's Asian, you know what I mean? So sometimes listen, the shackles of thinking every white person is wealthy get on people. The shackles of thinking everybody Asian is doing well gets on people. Okay? It just does. I'm being very clear. So when I talk about learned behavior and why it's a Hail Mary pass for most Gen Xers, most late age millennials, they think, unfortunately, they think that they can do a Hail Mary pass and 180-degree change their life. They really do. When it comes to money, when it comes to new levels of life, okay, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna just start golfing, I'm gonna do this. Everybody, all of a sudden, it's gonna jump on me. My kid, again, go read the studies. They show on average, middle-class Black people, their sons, their Black sons and daughters fall into poverty. Why? Because you're not doing the same things your parents did to get there. You're not in the set. You don't have the same connections. You're not even making the connections. A lot of times I talk to Black people and I'll be like, oh, you guys have play dates? They're like, play dates? What's that? Play dates is where you choose what children are around your child. You connect with other parents who have children. See, but because sometimes we have kids out of different seasons of life. Again, Jenny Maya is 44. If you're 44 years old, what other group of your friends got 2-year-olds? Now you got to go hang out with some 30 or 20-something-year-old women so your child can have some play dates. Now you got to go into different environments so your child can have a play date. Now, women more than ever are having children late. It is a thing. But I tell you, it's a Hail Mary pass. The way she started dressing, talking, speaking. I was like, that girl wasn't acting like that a month ago. She wasn't acting like that before she got with JEEZY. She really put on the whole Hail Mary. Look, I'm so feminine and nice. And I make his sandwiches and fried rice. And I just love him so much. He's so wonderful. Right? Got him. Sucker. Got him. Right? Sucker. Got him. Because it was a Hail Mary pass. How can I get a baby out of this deal? Even if the prenup's solid, even if she ain't getting crazy child support, have y'all not seen how these girls work this social media with them little kids, them little mixed babies? Got them in modeling contracts, got them in sponsorship deals. She gonna make millions of dollars. You're not a baby mama if you're married. If you're married, you're a divorced woman. And I know people who are baby mamas hate hearing that every day of the week. But there's a difference in a divorced man and a guy who's just a baby daddy. Even Deion Sanders got in trouble this past weekend with that. He's like, I'm not no baby daddy. I'm a father, an active father. And he is. The reason I say that is I would take a divorced dad 10 times over a reckless single man. Now, let me say this why. A divorced man knows how much it costs to run a whole damn house. He knows how much it costs. He knows if I'm living with my wife, my whole check is going into that house. Right? You know, my whole check is dropping into that house. My whole time is sucked up. Like I'm here with these kids. You dig what I'm saying? A guy who's never been married, talking about, let me give you a little $500 here and there. He has no concept of running a real house. Well, I eat just fine off of $2,000 a month. Sir, please step to the left. We don't want to hear that shit today. You dig what I'm saying? So some stuff is learned behavior. Some stuff is cultural. Again, I think she had a Hail Mary moment where you get to your 40s, you don't have kids. Look, Mary, 180 degrees different. Trust me, if you try to date a man who's a good dad, he busy every day. Man, I gotta pick the kids up. It's my turn. I went to take my kid to lunch. A kid forgot his lunch. I gotta go drop it off. Okay, I gotta do this. Okay, I gotta do that. Okay, I got you this Saturday. I ain't got no soccer this weekend. You ready? You coming over? We're gonna go on these dates. Let's go. Like you in a calendar schedule. It's different. You ain't dating some dude who's like, I do what I want. I see my kids sometimes. Nah, man. Our dad called us every day at lunch for 4 years straight. We had to do summers in Alaska. When our parents separated, it was like, I'm not playing. Where are my kids? I need to be on the phone. I need to talk to them. I need to have access to them. Where they at? Got to pick them up. I'm going to fly down, pick them up, take them with me, come back. Like, it's a different atmosphere. Our stepdad was super active, involved at every game, every event. We had church on Wednesdays. I remember the girl was like, I'm going to tell your dad, Ericka, you're cutting up the back. I'm like, he ain't my daddy. She said, oh, bet. Went and got him. He came out. He's like, you said something? I said, no, sir. No, sir. I didn't say that. It's a different. I'm just going to go there. It's different when you got two parents at the house at all times. All right. So again, money. Because I know y'all in the comments like, Ericka cutting up today. So money, 35 to 50 years old. Now, I get it. You like, Ericka, I want to retire one day. I don't want to work till I'm dead. I'm going to tell you something and you ain't going to like it. Most of y'all gonna work another 30 years. Oh, I know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Another 30 years. Why? Because most people have not planned financially. They haven't decided what they even want. They're gonna buy another big house. I cut up one time, Will. He didn't let me cut up no more after that. I was done. I was quiet after that. I was like, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. Don't give me no butt whooping, sir. And so when I talk to people about, hey, maybe you can buy a duplex or a fourplex, let me just tell you the big math on it. Duplex and fourplexes are too small. If two units are empty, you got financial problems. If one unit's empty, everything's tight. So 9 times out of 10, when people say, oh, I'm just going to buy me a fourplex or a duplex for retirement, I'd be like, if you really get in the space, it's not enough. Unless you make all 4 units Section 8, it's not enough, right? Even when I meet older ladies who have one, they got a duplex and they're living on one side. I remember this woman called me on the phone. She was like, well, I don't want nobody to have pets. I don't want too many kids there. I don't want this or that. I'm like, ma'am, you want too many rules on a rental property. You're too emotionally attached. It's probably better if you sell it or move to somewhere else and let both sides be rented out. Because where you at, the valuation of it in California is over $1 million. Right? Now, again, somebody said I rebuked that. I get it. I get it. Only way that changes is investments. Right? Only way that changes is investments. The only way that gets better is making huge leaps in decisions. Right? Because let's really go there. The average person, when they're 33 to 55 is when they first decide to start getting serious about investments. That's why when I see all these charts about if you start investing at 20 years old, at 60, you'll be a millionaire. It's like, no, the average person you're talking about that's actually paying attention is 35 years old. 32 to 35, they're getting serious. Their parents are older. They realize their parents ain't got enough money. They ain't got enough money. How they gonna retire? That's when you get those first people investing in real estate, getting really serious. Man, y'all look at this man in the building, Tim Action Jackson. I wanted to do a show today with Tim Jackson talking about the daggone what's that boy in California with that stupid house? But Tim Jackson be running these streets, y'all. He be in these streets. Hard man to find. But part of what I want to talk to you about is learned behaviors. If you've learned for 30 or 20 years or 10 years to act a particular way, you're going to continue to act a particular way. Whether I move you in a house, whether I move you across the street. Now, where we went to go see this fix and flip, house was done great. A little cheap in some parts, but really great. I looked across the way. There was a house. 2 broke down minivans, a broke down Honda. Toys all spread out in the front yard. Yard looks terrible. House looked like it need repair. Those people lived like that in their apartment before they ever got in that house. Those are learned behaviors. They're learned behaviors. They've been living that lifestyle for a long time. Right? That's why when people drive for dollars, their house, the outside of the house is just a small symptom of what's really going on inside the house. People try hard to convince you, oh, I'm a clean person. I really am. You get in their car, it's nasty. The outside of the car nasty, the inside of the car nasty. They throwing trash bags to the back. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm gonna get the seat clear for you. Nah, they house like that too. It ain't just a car. Women try to say, oh, it's just my car. Nah, baby, show me your bathroom. Bathroom looks just the same. Right? So a lot of that is learned behavior. And so when I talk about what happened here, if you learn for years that I'm just going to be dealing with women, I'm going to be traveling, doing shows, I'm going to show up and do this and that, it's a lot to do a 180 and go, I'm going to live a committed, quiet lifestyle. I'm going to sit over here with this woman and we're going to promote our union and our baby and marriage and happiness. Again, I didn't see any chemistry between the two of them. I was like, I don't get it. I mean, if somebody else get it, that's cool, but I didn't see it. I felt like I was watching a bad Hallmark movie. And that's what a lot of people are trying to do out here. Y'all trying to live a bad Hallmark movie where you move to the small town, you make a bunch of money, you marry the richest man in the small town, and everything's gravy. No, that's a Hail Mary pass. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna do it. Now, there's another thing that happens when people have babies. Again, haven't had my yet. I know the Ericka, you don't know. I do know. I've watched plenty of people. They have a baby. Whatever problems y'all had before that baby was born, they are now exacerbated. They are now in your face. Why? Because you're both tired. You're both sleepy. Money's tight. You're looking at each other like, boy, you getting on my nerves, and she getting on his nerves. So, and also your lifestyle changes. Women typically turn to nesting, which if you don't understand what nesting is, it's like more homebody, more kind of, protect this baby kind of mentality. I'm gonna be at home with this child. Men typically, study wise, and what I've seen, oh man, I need to make more money. I really got to take care of all these kids. Look, I'm gonna take care of all these kids and this woman by working more. So now you got two different mindsets. The man can't figure out why the woman isn't wanting to work and make more money so they can take care of this kid. And the woman isn't understanding why the man doesn't want to spend more time home with this baby because it's a baby. Several men writing books that they didn't feel connected to their child till their child got about 1 or 2 years old. That child's about 2 years old now. A little bit, almost. Y'all can double check me on the child. Yes, Jenny Maya is still paying her first husband alimony. Okay? That right there make you mad every day getting up anyway. Okay? And so you have this thing where people think they're going to do a 180-degree lifestyle change, and they're gonna put on this costume, right? They're gonna put on this costume of living, and they're gonna be different. And everything's gonna be different. It's not. Class matters. How you were raised matters. The things you find acceptable matters. When a man has outside children, it matters. You dig what I'm saying? When he has outside children, how he treats those children, how you have to interact with that family matters. I know a man right now, his children are grown, 18 and 22 and 26. The ex-wife still calls his phone all the time to talk to him about the kids. He changed all his phone numbers, gave it to the kids, didn't give it to the ex-wife. One of his children came to the door, started knocking on the door. Let me tell you something. You better give my mama your phone number. My mom's been trying to call you, Dad. What the hell we got to talk about? You 18, 23, and 26 years old. That's why when people sit here and try to tell me about, oh, it's okay if a man has multiple kids and he can get married and have a good life. No, he can't. Them women have to coordinate with each other and act like nice adults to each other. It matters. It throws a kink in the wrench. Nothing wrong with it. You didn't listen, Tim. Boy, when they told me that story about their children knocking on that door, I said, how you gonna send your own children knock on the door? That's crazy. That's crazy. And none of them got kids yet. I said, man, imagine when y'all have grandchildren. She really gonna be on one, okay? So I tell people, if you think, oh, a divorced man and just a single father are the same, they're not. It's a lot of different learned behaviors there. It's a lot of different activities going on there, right? Okay? Some stuff isn't a good fit, okay? And you'll learn that. And so what happens is we think because these love stories that you can just jump into a relationship with someone who's completely opposite of you and it'll all work out. It'll be great. Mindset is the strong component to that. Where are their mind at? Are they on the same page as you? Are you okay with this person? I'm gonna just go there, right? We just saw the Mel Tucker issue where him and his wife are estranged. Nobody knew they were estranged. But when this stuff hit the fan of him having phone sex with some lady, he had to come out there and be like, oh, we're estranged. And I knew this lady for a year. I can't believe she did that. It's not about you knowing this lady for a year. It's about the fact that you're gonna make $95 million over the course of 10 years, and you out here on the phone with an employee from work. That don't work at Chick-fil-A as a manager. That don't work at McDonald's as a manager talking to somebody underneath you. It ain't gonna work in football either. It ain't gonna work in college sports. It may work in NFL, but it ain't gonna work in college sports, right? So Coach Tucker, Diamond Dave did a great little breakdown on it. I told y'all from the get-go, I don't have a problem with this man who's got a wife having phone sex with people. He better call the 1-800 numbers. He better call the hotline and quit playing. There's sometimes you come to a level of money and skill that you don't make those type of mistakes. You just don't. You get to a level where that's just not a good calculation. I'm not booty calling anybody from my work if I'm making 10 million a year. Diamond Dave said it. Can that woman help him get another $90 million contract? Work for another college? No, she cannot. And most black coaches don't get this chance. Coach Deion Sanders ain't even got a $95 million 10-year contract. Right? That's when, there you go. Come on. I mean, y'all got a ton of comments. I can't catch them all, but that's a young person mistake. You 55 years old phone calling people at work? No, baby, don't do that. Anywhere. If anything, I'd have been like, baby, I'll give you the $24 to call the 1-800 number, something. That's crazy. But what happens is people get into these learned behaviors, these learned patterns. And again, Diamond Dave did a great job on it. Cheap, easy sex, cheap, easy situations, right? And when you have to, again, what did I tell y'all last show? All good things are uphill. That's my thing for the week. I'm gonna just keep telling y'all that. John Maxwell, blame him. All good things are uphill. Good relationships, good money opportunities, healthy body, anything that you want that's of value is uphill. For Jenny might even to get JEEZY to marry her is an uphill battle. Listen, I'm telling y'all, you can't force these knuckleheads to marry you. 9 times out of 10, you're trying to convince them that this is the life pattern, right? Life pattern you should be going on. If you were dating somebody who's from a culture or an environment where everybody in their family isn't married, it's reckless, it's all over the place, it's going to be real hard for you to convince them, hey, being married and us doing this routine of being here with this baby and getting these checks in our 40s and 50s is a good deal. If that man can't buy into that, that's a rough road. That's a rough road. Good luck, girl. That's a rough road. Okay? So what happens is we get into these places, right? We get into these places where people are in their 30s to 50s. They're trying to figure out retirement. They're trying to figure out how to retire their parents or at least maintain their parents so they don't, struggle or be, eating cat food or whatever, right? And so now you see people finally going, oh, I want to do all these things. I want to invest. I want to make more money. I want to do all these things. I'm like, calm down. Right? Wait, she got OnlyFans? Oh, brother. She saw you and said, cake money, dummy walking by with money. I'm just, I can't. Okay. So again, that's retarded. That's real dumb. OnlyFans. Okay, so longer story short, some of y'all will work for another 30 years. And it's because you learn different information too late. And when we had Jimmy on the show, Jimmy said it's too easy to make $1 million. And I felt the friction. I felt the friction of y'all being like, oh, $1 million is so hard. If you've had a job where you've made $50K a year and you've been working for 20 years, you've made $1 million. My friends who work in in tech who've been making 120 a year, they've made $1 million in less than 10 years. So in the mind, you have to gradually get that concept that you can make $1 million. You have to get the concept first, right? You have to get the concept. Once you get there, now there's a different level of behavior required out of you. And again, I told y'all, old money people, when you really talk to old money people, the only difference to them is management. If you ever go watch the show Bridgerton, and there's a countless British shows you can watch, but Bridgerton, one of the sons was stressing in the show because he had to start learning how to manage all his dad's books and all these accounts and rents that they receive from the poor people. He never had to do it before. He never sat down with his father and studied, okay, well, how do we live? How is he able to afford these 8 kids? He never paid attention. That's why I tell y'all, old money is just management. Even yesterday at the event, the real estate event, the guy said his friend is in his 70s And the doctor said, man, there's a tumor on the side of your neck. It's a baseball. You thought it was a boil or something simple on your neck. Nah, man, it's a tumor. We got to get in there. We got to cut it. Immediately, the guy is freaking out because he's like, I have 100 rental units. He has a combination of commercial space and residential all over Arizona. And he's like, my poor wife, who never participates in my business, is going to have to run around collecting all these rents if I die. So he's talking to his other real estate friends, and he's so immensely like depressed and stressed. They're like, are you even stressed about the tumor? He's like, I'm not stressed about the tumor. I'm stressed about my poor wife who's going to get stuck if I die or something goes wrong with the surgery on my neck. She's going to be stuck doing all this work and never prepared her. Didn't bring his kids either. He's just been running around doing all these activities. So when people say, why does all these things matter? Is because if you haven't prepared the people around you for a certain type of lifestyle, you will be in these bad situations. Same thing goes with when people say, how do you find these motivated sellers? People make bad decisions or getting bad habits, and you can buy things off them, basically. Best way to say that. Why did I say you got to work to your 70? Most calculators they're showing y'all on investment stuff is for 30 years. But guess what? What's 30 years if you're 35? 65. And even then, the average person in their 60s has like 70 grand in their 401k. One of the saddest stories I heard the other day is one of the women that invested in the J. Morrison fund took $15,000 out of her 401k. And I just was sick to my stomach because I was like, ma'am, like, this is where we have to up the financial education. But it's also that fear of missing out. Like, I must run around and make drastic 180-degree decisions in investing because I think I'm behind. And that's why I do these videos. That's why I'm like, you guys, it's not that hard. It's not that complicated. I would have rather that woman took that $15K and bought a little rental, put it as a down payment on a rental somewhere in Atlanta herself, than give it to somebody else, really. Right? Male Logic, you must be just coming into the show. We talked about Hugh Jackman and his wife divorcing at the beginning of the show. I know there's 419 people here. Hit the like button. Drop a 1 if you're enjoying the commentary. Essentially, we talked about Hugh Jackman's wife is 67 years old and he's 54. And their kids are 18 and 23. And when them kids get 18, them people be trying to get up out that dough, right? So, but they've been together 27 years, very respectable level length. It's okay if they have grown apart and he wants to hump other people. That's what that is, right? Let me finish while I can focus. But long story short, how do I, Ericka? If I don't want to do a crazy 180, I don't want to lose my money in bad investments, I don't want to do dangerous things, how can I 180 change my life and it not disrupt me, destroy me? And I'm gonna just tell you, right? Some of y'all, it's gonna be one conference a quarter. It's gonna be networking groups. It's gonna be associations. It's gonna be joining a gym. It's gonna be joining a fitness group. Why a group? Right? Because there's accountability in groups, right? There's accountability in projects together. There has to be some kind of tracking measurements for what is success for you at this point, right? You're not going to turn around and make $1 million in a year without a lot of change, a lot of energy, and a lot of force. And that's what people don't want to hear. So I'm going to review your comments, but that was my big thing is like this whole Jenny My JEEZY thing. You're asking a man who's been living a certain way with learned behaviors for 20 years to do a 180, come get married to me, come live a quieter life. The girl is kind of the star a little bit, not much, just a TV show girl. Even she did a 180 in her behavior to get him, if you pay attention, as far as her dressing, her pretending to be more modest, her doing the hair. I've seen women do it. I know 2 girls in my church turned around, lost 80 pounds, one lost 50 pounds, and then they snagged somebody. And they went back up on that weight. But it is what it is. The girl did what she had to do. I get it. I see it. Everything we want is uphill. Everything we desire is going to require a little bit of sacrifice. And it's going to require some change. So I'm going to read over your comments and I'm going to try to wrap it up because it's Friday. I really was confused. I thought it was Saturday. I was even going to eat dinner with somebody, and they thought it was Friday too, yesterday. So we were both off on the days. We were just going crazy. Like, what day is today? See, look, y'all got to cut it out. You already starting. Y'all got to cut it out. Not the mix, baby. Cut it out. That's possible because the sponsorship's gonna be heavy. But yes, listen, I can't. I'm not gonna start with y'all today. I'm not gonna start with y'all because I know they was talking about Jeannie Mike said black men are for on the side. When you get older and you can't find no white man to marry, I guess they on the man. I don't know. Jeezy gonna do a whole album. Yo, I didn't know how to say his name earlier. I was like, Jeezy? I think it's Jeezy. I think I may be saying it. Thank you, I try. Listen, you Gen X be effing it up for everybody. I said what I said. I'm not worried about prenups, right? Because at this point in their career, both of them are, she's still paying alimony to her old husband. They both know, what they need to do as far as paperwork. I'm talking about the lifestyle. I'm talking about the lifelong effects of divorcing when your child's 2. I'm talking about something different. Thank you, Ray Gunn, for the super chat. Ain't nobody saying Fanny. Yeah, y'all look like Fannies, though. Shake that Fanny with a bad hip. Let me see. What is this? Didn't they say black women were the reason for him not being in a relationship? Oh, Lord, I got to get out of there. Get out of there. Back up out of there. See this right here. This is why. Shame on you. Right? I still can hoop. I still got a rap career. I still can do this. Yeah, people really be in them really crazy modes. I meet women all the time, and this is no disrespect. I really understand as a woman approaching the 40s. I'm getting close. The girl getting close. I respect when I hear certain women say, "Oh, I want to have kids still." I'll be like, "Oh, how old are you, sis?" 45. I'll be like, "Sis, what's your egg count?" "Oh, what's that?" "Wait a minute. You don't know what your egg count is?" "No, I don't know what that is." First of all, if you're really serious about you saying you want to have kids, that's the first thing you should have already got your test. You already know what your egg count is. Then you know with the egg count, if you need to pull a couple of eggs, or you can just go do the old fashioned style and go whoopsie baby. So when people tell me they are serious about certain things, I know they're not, right? I remember this guy told me he wanted to join the military. He was 39. I said, "Well, you got to get in there by July." He said, "What?" I got to him 40. I'm like, "No, baby, you got to get in. Paperwork, documents by like a year from your 40th birthday." Like people tell you stuff and you know they're not serious. Right? "Oh, I'm gonna get married." I'd be like, "Sis, are you losing weight? Are you dressing different? Are you going different locations? Are you going to different associations? Are you meeting different people?" No, just going to my house with my dog." Okay, then, like I know they're not serious. I do what I want when I want, not in alignment. Yeah, the whole I do what I want whenever is not. That doesn't work. Even there's an accountability factor that is somewhat of a joy. When you get in a serious relationship. And there's a level of love that some people won't ever reach because they never date somebody past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like there's levels to love, like where you love that person and want just your heart wants better for that person, even if they ain't with you. You know what I mean? So there's levels to stuff you ain't ready to hear it. I saw that when I was in Afghanistan, late 30s and 40 somethings, E3s and E5s. Ooh. And the National Guard, Army Reserve, and active duty. This is 2010, 2011. A lot of those guys regretted getting out the first time. That's what it is. A lot of them try to get back in to recapture that retirement, and they're not even under the old system no more, right? I remember meeting 2 people who got out the military of 15 years. 15 years. They did 15 years. The reason they got out is because their wife was divorcing them and they were upset and mad. And I said, I don't care how mad I was. I'm gonna do the remainder of my 5 years to get my check forever. Right? That's crazy to me. We back. Okay, listen, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, I'm not even right on the show as a real wife anyway. I mean, it's crazy. They do. They be telling on themselves. Yeah, all your exes can't be crazy. I can tell you right now, there's one or two. I was like, dang, I could have married that person, sat down, and been just fine, without a shadow of a doubt. I know the date and the person. 2 times. My mom was like, "Oh, I didn't like him. I don't care what you liked. I'd have been fine." The people keep company. Yep, it matters. Stop. That white man was ready to go. They did just get married. Stop. She did. She said dark meat was a side dish. I believe people when they say something. When they let it slip, I believe them. I believe them. Right? I remember me and Todd Millie met, and it was Charles Ogilvie, and we just laughing, da da da. And he's like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And I said, "Boy, I went to private school. I learned golf, tennis, all that. I was like second string in tennis, varsity. Like, baby, I've been this, not new to this, true to this." And so it's just funny. I laugh because I immediately know other private school black kids and other kids in certain genres, certain areas. His mom pissed off. Well, you already see unfortunately, a lot of some of them son husband situations be weird as hell. I mean, there's one person that's a son husband, and I feel like that's why he moved to Dubai, just to even get more separation from that mama. But that's another conversation for another day. Listen, you already know. But this is the thing. Even April Mason has a ton of women that get married every year, and it's literally. Is this a natural change? Is this a realistic change? Is this life has become painful, so I know I need to change? Or is this a Gen X, man, dang, I guess I want a retirement husband. Let me hear him go get one real quick. You know what I'm saying? Some people do that. Woo! Listen, I ain't gonna go there. Oh, yeah, listen, I've seen it. I've seen it up close. And not just black men. 2 of the Asian guys I know, they were jumping through hoops for these white girls' families. Then they got married to them. They were like, oh, her family was poor. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. You were thinking she was white and they were rich, automatically rich. That's not true. So people do that all the time though. People think they have to live up to someone they think is above them. So my sister's in Jack and Jill for that reason. She wants her children around certain people. There you go. Certain mindsets. That's right. Listen, that study was very true. The kids don't follow the middle class parents' example. They stray and pay the consequences. They fall out of the middle class. I know people right now who have a bunch of middle class friends and they're trying to be a rapper. They got friends working on Wall Street talking about they want to be a rapper. Boy, if you don't shut your stupid ass up and go work on Wall Street with your friends. Yeah, she became very black, very concerned about black issues all of a sudden. I was like, girl, get your ass out of here. Jenny, get out of here. Thank you, Unique Organics Hair Care, for the $5 super chat. Now, listen, don't get it twisted. Your girl Ericka is all about, I want you to get in where you fit in. But 9 times out of 10, I remember I was watching one of O'Shea Duke Jackson's lives, and this black boy was talking, and eventually they kind of was like, one dude was like, well, hey, man, were you just mad at your mom? Or are you mad at black women? He said, honestly, now that I've been married a few years, if I'd have just got some therapy earlier, I probably would be with a black woman. I just was mad with my mom. And so there's these things going on with people, and this is why being in the same class is important. That they're mad at poverty, they're mad at childhood, they're mad at parents. They're not mad at you. They got their own problems before they even get in your space, right? They have their own expectations for how they're supposed to act and behave. This is why you're supposed to ask good questions and vet people. Woo, you already know. Y'all so petty, and I love it. Y'all is petty. She already has a YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers. There you go. It's gonna be. She gonna make lots of juice money from that. Don't worry. Oh yeah. Okay, now I remember. That's true. That's true. Well, because some people are taught having a baby would derail their career, but also I've seen people not have babies with someone because they just like, damn, like that baby will act and be like that person. Be prepared for that. God, dog. Y'all chopping hard in here. Yeah, I would agree with that. He was a lick. Y'all funny. Hold on, let me keep going. Listen. I don't know what happened in Vietnam. I guess what happens in Vietnam stays in Vietnam. That's scary. But thank you for that information. I didn't know. She did. She had a hell no. Right? Also, too, some of the divorced men I met in Dallas and in Austin, they've actually are more considerate, right? Like they're just more considerate as far as cooking, cleaning. Like, hey, they already know how it works, right? It's not just one person doing the work. Is both people got to do the work. Both people got to cook. Both people got to clean. Both people got to throw in to make this deal work. They're not like acting real goofy, like they don't know how life works. The divorced dad understands the cost to get a stepmom. Yeah, they got to re-up. They got to make this money. See, this is why when I see these people on these, oh, my wife divorced me and took everything. Y'all ain't have shit. That the average person don't have shit. That's what I'm talking about. This Hail Mary money mentality. Most people don't got no money. They get just enough money to get a house with their wife. They both driving cars that they kind of like to go to work. And all of a sudden she asked for a divorce. Oh my gosh, she took everything. No, she didn't. You still got that shitty car you like, but you just live in an apartment across town. Y'all didn't have anything. You didn't have any money or any real investments. And that's really what you're coming across is these people realizing I'm 30 or 40 and I have to really go re-up on the money to have the life I want. But I'm so mad about this situation, I might not do it just because I'm mad. No, baby. No, baby can't be me. So that's what you're seeing out here in these spaces. That's why I be blaming Gen X all the time. It's really y'all fault. Y'all be out here bitter, running up the internet with these damn men and women. Never mind. I'm gonna stop. Let me stop. Yeah, listen. My dad showed up at college unannounced. I was like, Mom, don't do that. I could have been anywhere, drunk, falling down. I could have been doing anything. Don't do that. I really wasn't. I was really a good child. Yeah, listen, some of these people will never be. There's an Asian girl. She's hilarious. She's a comedian. And she says in China, she's a 2. She ugly. But in America, she a 7. Because white men and black men love her. Boy, I holler every time she say that because she knows in her culture, her whatever, she even called herself leftover birthday cake. In their culture, she's a leftover birthday cake. People know what's going on in their particular group. Like Patrick Mahomes was cool in high school only to that white girl because it's like, oh, he's mixed. But when you see pictures of Patrick Mahomes, you're like, he looked like a dork. But it just depends on where you're at. This is why proximity and location and the schools y'all at, all that stuff matters. Where you raise these kids, because you got beautiful children, and they're at a school, let's say they're at an all-white school and your kids are black, they might not get any boyfriend or girlfriends going up. And it might affect how they treat people as they get older. Hope the sun don't cut this phone off, but you're gonna see. We'll see. Well, I just want you to understand, like retirement, the way we think it in America, doesn't really exist. You will continue to work. The funny thing we were talking about with Jerome is continuing to work, but when you have assets, you work differently. Like Charles Ogilvie, he works, right? He went back with his law stuff, using his law degree. But he's like, oh, I feel so different about work because I have the option to quit. I have the option to go do something else. I have all these investments. Like if they talking crazy, man, I can just leave us out of here. I don't have to go to my boss and beg for a raise. Different, really different. And again, he filed for the divorce, not her. That's why I was like, y'all trying to make people be who y'all think they are in your head. Said I'll never marry again if I was. Listen. Never say never. Honestly, Jenny's JEEZY chapter should have been in her 30s. I don't think it was a good fit. Long term, they had no kid. They had chemistry that doesn't carry you through marriage. It really doesn't. Like when I talk about marrying someone in your same class, or marrying someone from your same surroundings, I mean the same values. And I had to remember myself to clarify that. I'm talking about the same values, the same kind of outlooks on life. Um, it helps long term. Big it helps, right? Because I was talking to my significant other day. I was like, well, what sport is our kid gonna play? We gonna do golf or we gonna do softball, baseball? And everybody's like, why are y'all talking about that? I said, because I need to know, because I'm gonna put every kid in the same sport. It ain't even a joke. Every kid, whether we adopt them or we have them, they're gonna be in the same exact sport. Why? Because I'm not spending all my years running all over the place, going to gymnastics and going over here. No, y'all all gonna do gymnastics together, and you all gonna do golf together. Or you all gonna do tennis together? Or you all gonna do baseball? We not doing football. We ain't doing soccer. Okay, those aren't sports that pay money, and they don't. To me, they don't build great teamwork with goofies. Okay, no, thank you. Let's see what else I got here real quick. Ooh, bottom tier communities attempting to cosplay as normal functioning people. That part. Women think that a man doesn't have kids by a certain age, something wrong. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I know people say that. I tend to usually meet a very disciplined man who doesn't have kids at those ages, but there is a reason why he doesn't have kids. He's decided. There's always a reason, right? When I meet women who are in their 30s and don't have kids, when people say, "Oh, something must be wrong with her," I'm like, "That's a retarded thinking. That's an old 1922 South Carolina thinking." And when people say stuff like that, I just look at them like, oh, okay. Everybody you know is reckless. Good to know. Yikes. Back it on up. Back it on up. Get on out of there. Ooh. Thomas Sowell just did a video. Why some communities are destined to be at the bottom, 95 million or not. Yikes. Thomas Sowell, he don't never be talking about economics, which drives me crazy. He is always talking cultural issues. But here's the thing. The Mel Tucker thing is just stupid. I can't even justify it. I can't, because I know there's other coaches who probably know escorts and could have gave him a couple of them. That's why I can't even play that game. I'm just cutting up today because I just did 2 real estate events back to back. I've got 34 new numbers in my phone. I'm connecting with people. I'm going over to their projects. I'm seeing what they're building, what they're flipping. Um, Anytime I come to Dallas, I always get like enlightenment and push up and good energy. But I just always, when I see this stuff I see out here in the streets, I know what it is. It's a lot of people aren't raised to have different expectations, 30s, 40s, 50s. They're not elevating themselves and they're not growing. So that's why they're having issues. Honey, I'd have peeled her off some money and told her to get lost. Unequally yoked is not just for spiritual things. Ooh, yes, tell them. I remember I remember this guy was saying similar activities, similar beliefs, and this guy was like, some red pill guy was like, "Oh, you don't need similar beliefs or similar activities. I can be watching TV every weekend. You can go do whatever you want." I said, "Honey, that doesn't work in the real world. It doesn't work in the real world. You can't just be out there going to whorehouses, shooting up clubs, acting crazy, and then this woman over here is a church saint." I mean, they write a million country music songs about cowboys and angels, but eventually the cowboy does what the angel is doing, or they separate. It's just that simple. Oh yeah, listen. Them when you meet South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, Virginia folk with properties and land that keep getting going, yeah, it's all management. It's all management. My father started me doing the household budget when I was 12 years old. Now I love trading stocks. There you go. Let's see. Yep. Country Wayne, even Country Wayne, I respect him enough because Country Wayne, his mother died when he was like 14. They basically just let him roam like a wild child. And then he had all these children. He had 8 children by the time he was 23. And he realized, I can't just work a regular job. I have to be a business owner because I have created all these lives that depend on me. I will forever give Country Wayne that credit. Like, he didn't even understand how Facebook was paying him $90 million. It was not 90 million. It was like $90,000 a month. Please go back and watch this old Breakfast Club clip with Country Wayne. And I was sitting there like, he didn't even know how it all worked, but he kept producing content because he was like, I'm getting $90,000. All I got to do is understand it, pay somebody to help me understand it, keep making money off this, and da 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 da. Now, if you look at his lifestyle after that interview, he ended up moving to California and bought a big old house. Now, he's still running around kissing and making babies, but he know how to make money for sure. I definitely had to realize this the hard way. Joined the church group, book club, the junior leader in my city in the past few months. Need to expand my circle for sure. Again, there's a guy, he talks about it. He's an older guy. He says, go ahead and decide what you want to do with women so that you can get past the chasing women and chase all the other things life has to desire. Right? He's like, I learned new languages. He became like a samurai. He got went to Japan, did all this stuff, that became a pilot. I mean, there's so many things in life. But it feels like a lot of people get stuck in high school and they just got to get a girlfriend or boyfriend and they keep living these same stories where they're breaking up with people and having babies. It gets real stupid. Tim, it's crazy out here. I mean, people are like, Ericka, we gonna meet for lunch. I said, lunch? They're like, yeah, it's Saturday. I'm like, girl, what day is it today? I'm staying in Dallas one more night, but I'm leaving tomorrow. Y'all be trying to kidnap me. Listen, it was just funny. I was trying to say Jeezy on the last show and I was messing it up, but y'all know what I was trying to say. Jeezy, Yeezys, all of it. It's all the same. It's a bunch of noise. It's a bunch of mess. Yeah, yeah, military, it'd be wearing people out. I'm telling you, April Mason, she is a class act. And when I saw her, she was a size 2. I was like, damn. She came in to play at my event in Atlanta, y'all, and she sat down. It wasn't even a good 2 minutes. This young black dude was like, I love your smile. He like broke his neck to come across the room. That shit was hilarious. I was like, I love it. There's a way you can carry yourself. People know. Oh, honey, I believe it. I believe every bit of it. If you see that woman in the room in person, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I think what happens in our community, unfortunately, we don't think of dark skinned women that way. But she should be as popular as Kevin Samuels. Be honest. Honey, listen, don't forget about them trap anchor babies that are birthed at those women who are 40 something and reset the clock. Baby, I understand it. I'm okay with it. It's a life decision. But boy, there's a lot of people doing that. Whoopsies. There you go. Matthew McConaughey, Denzel Washington, and Matt Damon. Matthew McConaughey's wife is at the house. Matt Damon's wife was a waitress. Denzel Washington's wife, she acts, but she be chilling. She was raising her children. Gen Xers, it's all your fault. Oh yeah, that part too. That part too. Yeah, my home's is Rachel. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like there's a level of like, kids. I think you have to be very careful when you have all black sons or black daughters in a very white school district. I saw it personally. People who were attractive attractive black kids, and they never got a boyfriend in high school, or the guy never got a girlfriend, or they treated him in a certain way that was almost like you're like beneath them. But they went to college and women were just falling all over them, and he didn't know how to act. Now he had 2 baby mamas by the end of college, but hey, I just think it's detrimental. Go West Coast or grow up in Miami, and Asian or Hispanic females a dime a dozen. Yeah, they're everywhere. It's like you really judge people on their chains. Could I make a youth-based channel? I can't. I have too much stuff going on. I got a tactical thing I recorded. I really like, as much as I complain all the time about YouTube, I love YouTube. It's been great. But as soon as I hit a particular number, I'm phasing on out, baby. Am I slumming with this topic? Am I talking to you about finances? Am I talking maybe about lifestyle and how carrying yourself in a particular way? Again, it's called edutainment. I could talk every day about investing money and saving money for the next 30 years. You would not be paying attention. So keep it moving. And that's fine. Listen, you want to do the whole life with no kids and you want to ride off into the sunset, the perpetual single adult, I'm all for it. I don't want anybody forced against their will to have kids. I want them to go out if they want to club to their 70. I remember there's a video right now on report. It's the guy who's like 68 years old. The guy's like, "Oh, you look good for 68." Everybody in the comments like, "No, he don't." He's like, "Oh, I have no kids. I have no mortgage. I have never been married. I'm just out here dating young women." And people, and the dude, the first top comment is an Indian dude who's like, "That's absolutely sad." And men are like, "No, it's not. It's a great. He's a bachelor. He can date younger women." He said, first of all, to be a bachelor life is cool to about 50. 50 to 70, you still trying to be a bachelor? It depends, right? Like, again, it's what you think is successful as an adult. I look at it as my ancestors didn't fight, claw, and almost died in America for me to be like, I just want to run around with no kids. Nah, my bloodline ain't going out like that. It just isn't. So, somebody said they had a baby. My first son was born when I was 39. Salute to you. Sometime it be like that. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Ooh, I'm gonna read it again. Here comes Santos Clutch. About to come here cutting up. Some of us don't have kids, might just not want to have them, suffer what we went through as kids, would rather not have them spend 12 years with average at best offspring or unwanted spawn. I knew he was gonna come in here with some mess. This is why I talk about incorporating in your budget when you have children, how much does private school cost? Because public school is gonna be where the leftover children are. I know everybody hates hearing that. Oh no, I'm from a small town and the public school's really great, or this public school's really great. I know people who move their kids all over town trying to get a nice public school. And 10 minutes of conversation, I'm thinking to myself, or you can just put them in this private school right over here and call it a day. And call it a day. The best thing I tell y'all about is listen to him 500 talk about his daughter not being able to get to the best private school in Atlanta. Him and his wife cried because they didn't know the basics. You had to get her prepped for the test and pressed for the interview. So his daughter went in there, took the test, I didn't pass it, did the interview, didn't pass it, and they said no. He's like, but I got money. It's not just money. It's how you carry yourself, how your family carries yourself. It's reasons for all that. So sneezy wheezy. It does look like the 90s in some places. It is. Oh, I know that. Oh, married men are sad, and man, the married men at their house eating food, living good, laughing, enjoying their children, and going on. That's why I enjoy Tom Millie and all those little black men in the space, the earning your leisure space that both of them then got married, and they be showing you their life. Because people try to celebrate, only one way of living. So said it wasn't my ministry. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm telling you, I have to do something. So, anyways, you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classic Home Blog. I talked about this episode and the one before it. It's all mindset. It's all investing. It's all financial. It's all money. A lot of people get a little bit more money and they can pay for some therapy and some physical training or something. Get their mind right. But at the end of the day, it matters who you marry, who you come across, right? Um, who's in the same economic space as you, because their mindset is what talks to you. That's why I enjoy going to these conferences and going to these events as often as I do, is because you run out of people who are motivated, determined, and educated to talk to sometimes. So I wish Jenny Mai the best. She's going to be very wealthy off her contracts, off that baby, sponsoring that beautiful Blasian baby, like everybody else who's made lots of money off Blasian babies. And I hope JEEZY gets to run the streets and be the 45 to 55-year-old pimp he wants to be. I hope he gets all the ladies and activities he wants to live, because there are sometimes people have learned behaviors and you can't stop their learned behaviors. So anyways, this is your girl Ericka, Classic Climb Blog. Hope it was entertaining. Hope it was funny. You guys have a great day. Peace out.